into the camera? Okay.
All right. Hi, everybody. It's I'm Catherine, and I'm on the housing committee, and I'm here tonight with Jen, who lives in Chinatown. So she's going to be talking about her experience there and what it was like finding the place and everything like that. So we didn't get any questions from you guys, but you can always send in questions. We like to remind you of that. We're always here to answer questions. So we'll start with the first one for you.
Okay.
If you don't mind giving a brief summary of your experience apartment hunting in your neighborhood.
Okay.
Take it away.
All right. So my roommate and I met through the housing survey, and we both kind of agreed we wanted to live in Manhattan, and our budget was around $1,400, but we wanted to be as low as possible. So we knew there were like a few areas that were in our budget, and also a true 2-bedroom, because in Manhattan there's a lot of flexes. So they converted 1 bedroom, they put up a wall, and you get 2 bedrooms. But we wanted solid walls and our own door. So one of the options was Chinatown, and my roommate actually already had a friend living in Chinatown, and she found her place through a broker who was based out in Chinatown. And for those of you who don't really know, Chinatown is kind of its own beast within Manhattan. It doesn't really go with the flow of other things. It's special, to say the least. But it has its own charm at the same time. So to really find a place in Chinatown, you have to kind of go through a broker from the area. So we were referred to a broker, and she had shown us a couple listings before we came to housing day. And when we got there, she took us around to like 3 or 4 places. But there was one in particular that we thought of in advance that we really liked, and that was the first one we saw. And all the other ones just kind of didn't compare to it, but we just kind of went with the flow. And then we even met other brokers like when we were looking out in Midtown, but Chinatown was really where we felt fit best for us, and there's a lot of great things about it, so it wasn't too bad getting around as well on actual housing day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Did you take the trains? Was that kind of your method?
Yeah.
Okay.
So housing day starts at school, and school is conveniently located by many subway stations. So in Chinatown, we live near the BD stop off the Grand Street, and all the other apartments were kind of within walking distance. They were close to trains. Our apartment in particular was close. It's close to the BD station, as well as the number 6 off of Spring Street. And we're also pretty close to the NQR. So we took the subways to get around. And then when we headed back to Midtown, Murray Hill area to look at other apartments in the afternoon, we ended up taking the train, as well as a lot of walking, because usually within our budget, if you want to be in Midtown, you're going to be closer to the rivers, and those are avenues away from subway stops. So that's a lot of walking. Be prepared for a lot of walking. That's all I have to say.
That's true. Bring water.
Yeah, and wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
I think they already recommend that, but
yes,
that's very important.
For sure. Okay, next question. Okay. Knowing what you know now, would you have gone about apartment hunting in a different way if you were to do it all over?
I would not want to do it all over again, but if I had to, I think we really got lucky with the broker, who was really helpful, and that made things very convenient. If I could do it all over again, I probably would have looked more into Chinatown Realty. My roommate did a bulk of the legwork, which is really awesome of her. And so I think I would have tried to contribute a little more. I did more of the Midtown stuff, but looking more into Chinatown, knowing what Chinatown's like, and the convenience of living there in terms of school, nightlife. There's lots of things going on. I think I would have tried to emphasize my research in that area rather than try to spread it out. But granted, a lot of the people that are, a lot of you guys probably don't know much about the housing, like the different boroughs and the different areas of Manhattan. That it's kind of hard to really know where you fit in until you get here, unfortunately. So
true. Okay, so next question. How do you get to school, and how long does it take you?
We take the train to school every day, and it takes about 20 to 25 minutes door to door on a weekday. On the weekend, trains run slower, so if you miss a train, it's going to take an extra 10 minutes. But other than that, it's a pretty convenient ride. Traffic hour gets a little crowded, but it's never too terrible, in my opinion, from where I'm from. And there's always backup routes, at least in Chinatown. You can take other trains in case something goes down.
Cool. Is it close enough to walk or not really? Like you wouldn't want to?
No,
Okay.
I would not walk from school to home or vice versa. It'd probably be
Way
over an
too long.
hour.
Oh, yeah. Nah. Okay.
Unless if you're one of our classmates who loves to walk.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you like to walk.
If you like to walk and you
Chinatown.
want a good workout, you probably could do it, but not in the snow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if you have the time.
If you have the time. If you wake up early enough.
Yeah.
Props to you.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you pay for rent? And is this pretty average for the neighborhood you live in?
Okay. We pay $23.75. So we split that amongst the two of us, and I'm pretty sure that's about average for what our area is. Slash, it's a pretty good deal, especially given that we have a true 2-bedroom. Our apartment is on the 3rd floor. So with Chinatown, most of them are going to be walk-ups, like up to 6 floors. So it's very important to keep that in mind when looking for places. Because I remember when we were apartment hunting, and I was like, oh yeah, 5 flights isn't that bad. But when you think about it every day, going down, going back up, and then if you're running errands, and then when you're moving in and having delivery, that gets in the way. It adds up. And I consider myself quite active, and I still am tired after 3 flights at the end of a very long day being at school. So I think, considering our location, we're very close to Nolita, Little Italy, LES. It's a very good neighborhood. I think if you went like up a block, even our neighbors are probably paying way more. Oh, granted, they have nicer apartments, but we don't have a living room, so that's unique, I think, to Chinatown because our apartment is so small. We just kind of have an open kitchen, so that might play into why it's $23.75, but we kind of just valued our bedroom space more.
All right, awesome. And the last question, because I don't think you guys have any for us here.
Any emails? No.
Not yet. Okay. Last question is, what do
Okay.
you like/dislike about your neighborhood? Pros and cons.
I touched up upon it a little bit earlier about just the location. I didn't realize how important location was. Like my roommate, she has connections in New York City. I'm from California, so I didn't really know anything. I didn't know very many people here in the city either. So I just kind of went mostly with whatever my roommate had said and what she knew in terms of location. So again, we're next to Nolita. If you're not familiar, that's north of Little Italy. And there's a lot of trendy restaurants, a lot of good shopping. I live a 10-minute walk from Soho, which is quite nice, / bad for my wallet. But and then Little Italy is just a few blocks away, and they have festivals there. They close down the streets on Fridays, and they bring out all of the tables, and people can eat on the sidewalks. It's super cute. And it's just kind of nice to walk through there. It's pretty touristy, which can be a downside sometimes. And we're also close to Lower East Side, which is where a lot of our classmates like to go out on a Friday night, Saturday night, if they're not hanging out in Astoria. And so I'll fight for Manhattan. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, it's a lot of fun down at LES. There's a lot of bars and a lot of little dance lounges. So living in Chinatown is really convenient. I can just walk there. I can walk home. I don't have to take a 45-minute train ride to get back home afterwards. And there's a lot of good food in LES as well, Lower East Side. In Chinatown, I mean, what can you say? There's a lot of Chinese food there, and it's super cheap. So cheap groceries, cheap food. Yeah,
it's good.
It's good. It's good. Dim sum on the weekends. So there's always that. So in terms of dislike, I would say Chinatown can be a little dirty. But hey, it's Manhattan. Everywhere is dirty, pretty much. it's very much city life, so you kind of don't really escape like the hustle and bustle of things. If even though I'm from California and I like my slow-paced life, like it's manageable. Sometimes I like my quiet time. Imagine Astoria is nice. You kind of get away from the noise and stuff. It dies down at night, but you still have the big buildings and stuff, so you don't quite have like that homey feel. And it can get pretty crowded with tourists. Not as bad as Times Square, but you get a lot of people just randomly stopping in the middle of the sidewalk, and they're very small sidewalks. So that's a little tough, but it's all manageable. And I think the pros outweigh the cons, especially for me. So I really like living there, and me and my roommate are actually going to stay there for another year. So join us in Chinatown. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Is that it?
yeah, I don't think that you have any questions. We'll double check.
Nobody wants to ask us anything?
That's all right. We'll wait. We'll wait for the questions.
Okay.
And that sums it up. So thank you for sharing, living and finding places in Chinatown. And thank you guys for watching. We're looking forward to meeting you, whether it's in July or in August. We're excited. And if, again, any questions, just email us. All right?
Sounds good.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.